Hello there, World of Tankers. I'm Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about Update 7.1. I'm going to be giving you a full rundown and detailed preview of everything that is going to be coming and changing in the game. So I'm going to be talking about new upcoming premium vehicles, as well buffs, nerfs, armor profile changes, and legendary camouflages coming into the new Tier 10 vehicles. So of course, if you do like this type of content, you learn something new, and you want to see more like this, please make sure to click that subscribe button down below. It's one simple click, and of course you want to click that red button. So make sure to do that if you do like this type of content. But getting straight into it, there are a lot of buffs to lower tier vehicles in this update. And as much as I would love to talk about all the changes for the T1 and the T2 lights and everything like that, if you want to see those yourself, I'll leave the link in the description down below where you can check out Blitz Hangar yourself and see all of the change statistics for the lower vehicles. However, I'm guessing all of you guys just want to hear about the major buffs and changes to the Tier 7 and Tier 10 vehicles. So in today's video, those are the specific things I'm going to be covering. So the first big buffs are going to the Tier 7 light tanks, not only the Americans, but all of the other countries as well. Starting off with the T71, it's going to be receiving a massive engine power buff from 400 to 465, which doesn't sound like a huge amount other than the fact this tank weighs like 10 tons. It's going to get an effective power to weight ratio buff of 33.68 to 39.16. That's very, very nice. You're easily going to be able to accelerate. Now, Wargaming did sort of tweak the traverse speed of the vehicle from 58.29 to 57.60, but that's really not going to change anything while you are driving the tank. Same for the M41 Bulldog. It's going to lose a lot of weight. It went on a diet and it lost about 2 tons, which is quite a bit of weight. So the effective power to weight ratio on this tank as well is going to go from 46.82 to 50.90 tons. So both of these tanks are going to be going a lot faster in the next update. That also goes for the SPIC, which is a tank that I think is kind of funny, the Boley in Blitz, but it is not going to be a tank you're going to want to mess with if you are coming up against it anymore, because it's going to be getting buffs all over it. First of all, it's going to have a rate of fire buff. It's going to go from 7.88 to 8.72. That's a very, very large and respectable buff. The magazine reload time is literally going down 2 seconds. That is a very, very large amount of time they're cutting right off of the reload. As well, engine power is going up from 195 to 215, which also makes the effective power to weight ratio, because this vehicle weighs so little, from 34 to 37. So very, very nice all around. And as well, traverse speed is going up from 54 to 59.97. So the SPIC is going to actually be a very, very deadly tank, especially in the new matchmaker, which I definitely think is needed, because the SPIC, I really don't even find it a threat when I'm going up against it. As much as the gun does hurt, it really doesn't do as much damage as I feel it should. Up next, we have the AMX 1375, which is a very, very fun Tier 7 autoloader. This vehicle as well is going to lose quite a bit of weight from 15.20 to 12.20. So it's going to get an effective power to weight ratio, which was 29.14, and it's going to go all the way up to 36.30. So again, a very nice and respectable buff is going to be going on the AMX 1375. A lot of the light tanks are going to be a lot quicker and a lot deadlier in the matchmaker. Now, here come the Tier 10 tanks. We have the Foch and the Grill. Now, the Grill is going to be getting just one simple buff, a rate of fire. It's going to be going from 4.72 rounds a minute to 5.0, which is going to take about a second off your reload, or should I say 0.7 if you want to be very technical. So it's going to gain about 175 damage per minute, which in my opinion really isn't necessary for the vehicle. I feel that if you want to make the tank better, make the camouflage rating a little bit better. It doesn't need to be the best camo rating tank in the game. In fact, it's right below the 183. That's how bad the camouflage is. It's not bad when you're sitting still, but as soon as you shoot, you're pretty much guaranteed to be detected. So I think that should be changed. Maybe after shooting, the Grill should have a much better camouflage rating instead of buffing the DPM. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And as well, the Foch is going to be receiving an aiming time buff and dispersion buff. However, there's a little bit of a catch, because this isn't for both guns. This is only for the gun that nobody's going to be running, the non-auto-loading gun. So it's getting a base aiming time buff from 2.4 to 2.01, and dispersion factors are going from 0.16 to 0.10. Now, I personally feel that this is absolutely useless, because the gun should deal 640 damage. Not the auto-loading gun, but the original gun on the tank. For some reason, Wargaming nerfed it from what was 640 damage to 560 damage when they nerfed the autoloader. I would have much rather ran a 640 damage gun that wasn't an autoloader, in my opinion. Would have brought more variety to the tank, so you could choose from either gun. However, now there's literally no point to run the non-autoloading gun, because you gain so much more damage per minute just keeping that autoloader on. So let me know again what you guys think in the comments down below, but I definitely feel it's kind of redundant to buff a gun that nobody's going to use. So looking at some armor changes. First of all, we have the biggest being the KV4. It used to be very weak in the front. In fact, you could pen right through the upper plate with most premium rounds, and in fact, the turret was also super easy to penetrate. That is not going to be the same anymore. You can see, looking at the frontal armor of the KV4, that upper plate, just when looking dead on, is about 240 millimeters thick. That means you're going to need premium rounds no matter what to penetrate through that upper plate, unless you're an A tier 9 tank destroyer. As well, the lower plate is going to be about 175, 180 millimeters thick, and the nice thing about the KV4 is when you angle it, you can angle it very aggressively, and that side armor is still about 320 millimeters thick, and that frontal upper plate's now going to be about 260, and as well the lower plate's going to be 200 millimeters. So very good at side scraping, and as well the turret armor is being buffed. The side of the turret will still be very strong if you're angling it about 250 millimeters, and the frontal part will be about 250 as well. So the KV4 is receiving massive buffs all around the table. Even the cupola on top is going to be massively buffed on the front and the sides. I definitely feel this was a needed buff, and it's going to make another super strong vehicle to sort of contest the Tiger II. It's got great penetration. I think it's somewhere upwards of like 227 on the tank, and it does 310 damage, so I think it's going to be a very strong tier 8 heavy tank. Up next, we have the IS-6. I'm very happy myself that it's being buffed because, of course, I got the IS-6 Fearless, and I'm very happy about that, but I didn't really enjoy the IS-6 that much because it's got very old armor profiles, where nowadays in Blitz with so much power creep, its armor doesn't really stand up to most standard penetration. So that is going to be changed as well. The upper plate is going to be about 235 millimeters thick when aiming dead on. If you're using your 6 degrees of gun depression, well, it's going to be pretty much impossible to penetrate at 296 millimeters effective. As well, the edges of the tank have been buffed a little bit. They're now 250 millimeters thick when aiming dead on, which is very good because you can angle the tank, have them about 260, which is a very hard spot to penetrate, and have the frontal armor at about 250, and the lower plate is getting a massive buff. You can see at this little angle here, that lower plate is 215 millimeters effective, so very deadly. Although there is one issue, that turret isn't really receiving a buff, which means right next to the gun manlet, it's still only 168 thick, so very easy to penetrate right next to that, which I definitely feel is still a weakness, and as well you can shoot the cupolas right on the roof of it, so it is going to be a very nice buff, but at the same time, if you know where to penetrate an IS-6, it's really not going to make much of a difference. So those are the statistical and buffs on armor profile that is going to be happening in update 7.1. Hopefully you did learn something new there, but as well there's going to be some changes on aesthetics. The Vickers Light is going to be getting a legendary camouflage. I don't like it at all. A lot of people have expressed their opinions differently, I'll say. Some people say it looks like a Star Wars camo. I'm not the best fan of Star Wars, and I don't think a tank should be designed after a Star Wars scenario. So it definitely doesn't look the best to me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But as well, the T-25 Pilot 1 is getting a legendary camouflage. Now this update is coming somewhere around, I've been told, about the 14th or 15th of July. I can't confirm that or say anything else because I have absolutely no clue, so don't quote me on that. But it should be coming around next week. So with that happening, I have a feeling that either the Super Conqueror or the T-54E2 will be coming this Friday. Now again, I don't know this, but I'm pretty solid that either one of those two tanks will be coming. So if you wanted to get either of those tanks, make sure to have your wallets out and your credit cards flailing. But other than that, there's really not much else to talk about. I do feel that the T-25 Pilot 1 will be coming out in update 7.1 because of course they are adding the legendary camouflage for the vehicle with the Vickers in that update, so I definitely feel it will be coming out. And as well, there's also the 50 TP. There is a lot of vehicles that really haven't come out yet, but I'm waiting for a little bit of tidbits of news. People can tell me what's coming out, crates and everything else like that. I got some nice mods that go into the game files, tell me everything. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. As always, if you did, please make sure to click that subscribe button down below, especially if you did learn something new. If you didn't, well, you know what to do. Hit that downvote button down below. Tell me this video sucked or something like that. But other than that, I hope you guys are all doing well out there. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.